Hello.
Hi.
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 I think we can
I
start
think
now. It's quite some
we
time.
can start. Yeah.
Hmm.
Can you give me his number? I'll just call him. Do you know by heart his number by any chance?
1 minute. You can take him on
I'm
audio.
taking him
That's
from my
all.
other call.
His number is
I
91.
have it. I have it.
Okay.
Hello, Mr. Pandey. Can you hear me? Okay. Hi, Ravi.
Hi.
Hi, Sanjay.
Hi, Harry. How are you?
I'm super. We have Mr. Pandey also on audio call with us because he's unable to join. Mr. Pandey, you can hear us?
But why not on the video call?
वो नहीं हो रहा है, उसके लिए हम और एक सेशन रखेंगे. So let's begin. Like आज का तो we'll start with the Insta live session.
You could have done on Zoom immediately. सब connect हो जाता.
Zoom I think we'll pack it for tomorrow. What say रवि जी? Zoom call हम कल कर लेंगे या तो इस कॉल के बाद कर लेंगे.
जो भी करना अभी पहले let's start now.
Ready है उसमें क्या होता है अब ये तो this is I've already wasted 1 hour on this. Anyway, जो बताइए जो करना है सो करें.
Okay, so let us start this. First of all, let me welcome you all on the board. Good evening, friends. I'm Harry Anand, and I'll be your host for today evening. We are here for the beautiful book launch of Mr. Ravi Valluri, who has written beautiful 10 books before this. Okay, so first of all, let me just take a small time, just take me a moment and introduce you all to Ravi. Ravi Valluri belongs to the Indian Railway Traffic Service and is currently posted as the CEO of Chhattisgarh East Railway Limited. Though his interest was theatre, writing, and public speaking, fate destined him to join the civil services. He has worked on several railway systems in the last 30 years. Over the years, his profound interest and passion for writing led him to craft a remarkable collection of 10 books. We all know he's dynamically creative, a wordsmith who can teleport us from fiction to non-fiction world. He has a very balanced lifestyle. He also conducts a lot of happiness program and also teaches yoga and meditation. The best part, the beauty of his life is that he counsels drug addicts and alcoholics and also teaches, them how to come out of it. That's really commendable, very impressive. I have to mention on this platform that Gurudev Sri Ravi Shankar has unveiled several of his books like The Matter of the Mind, Make the Mind Mount Kailasha, 365 Spiritual Quotes of H. Sri Ravi Shankar ji. The author presented a copy of Art of War and Art of Living, a spiritual fiction, a book which the author considers one of his best efforts. In fact, his short stories Heartbreak at Coffee Shop, An Array of Tales, and A Tale of Parallels were Amazon bestsellers. His book of Story of Faith and Miracle, which is a true account, is also an inspiring piece of work. His books have also been translated in various languages like Telugu, Kannada, Tamil, and Hindi. Ravi, it's an absolute pleasure to have your book launch on Insta Live.
Thank you, Harry. My pleasure.
We also have our guest of honor, Mr. K.L. Pandey with us, who's a retired additional member of Railway Board. He's a poet, a writer who has authored 7 books in Hindi literature. He is also a musicologist and researcher who has done a rag analysis of 20,000 songs from 6,200 Hindi films released from 1931 till 2020 and published Hindi Cine Rag Encyclopedia in 5 volumes. The list will go on, Mr. Pandey, if I keep talking about you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My pleasure to be present in this book launch. And I happen to be very much interested in the story writing, and I have already written around 300 plus short stories. So those are there in 3 of my story collections. It's very nice to see this particular book by Ravi, and that too, these stories which are there, and also travels which he has written. So wonderful. I have read almost all 3-4 remaining. I couldn't complete, but I will surely complete all of them. And they are so wonderfully written. It's very, I must confess that it is very difficult to write short stories. It must be easier to write long stories and also bigger things like novels and etc. Because here you have to create a plot and then finish in the minimum possible words. So, and also the content, and it has to convey the message which you want to convey the message. So I must say, in all the stories which I have found and I have seen his earlier creations also, especially the tale of parallel, which in the launch I was also there in that particular book, which I have read complete book, and where he could correlate the incidents of which are there in Mahabharata with the present day context. And I must say these things have been done in this book also. Bombay Review and other stories. There are quite a few stories where it has been correlated with, and wonderfully correlated with the Mahabharata stories and the characters. But I must say there are few stories which have really I really like.
Mr. Pandey, I would just like to take a moment before starting our session.
Yes.
Okay, so we have one more guest of honor with us, Mr. Sanjay Chandra. I'll quickly introduce him. I'll just take a moment and then we can start a conversation about the book and everything.
Yeah, please.
Okay, so friends, we also have our guest of honor, Mr. Sanjay Chandra. We all know Sanjay has started his professional journey as an electrical engineer with Indian Railway Services. But he chose to drive the course of his life in later years, leaving a secure job to join the private sector and eventually pursue his entrepreneurial dreams. Along the way, he realized that there was a storyteller within him. Every communication in his life was a story in itself. Sanjay has published 3 books: Behind Closed Doors, which is a murder mystery; Gymnast, contemporary fiction; and The Life and Times of a Common Man. It's a memoir. Sanjay now sees stories all around him. Writing has become a passion, and he has finally become a storyteller. There is a storyteller among all of us, Sanjay. So, and he's also an avid traveler, a book lover, an amateur photographer. He also assists companies with strategy consulting and arbitration and conducts workshops on creative writing. Sanjay is also passionate about supporting other authors. No wonder he is a part of today's launch. Sanjay, it's truly a delightful to have you in our company.
Thank you so much, Harry, for such a wonderful introduction, such a beautiful introduction, and it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. In fact, I was with Ravi almost about a year back also for the launch of his another book, and it's an honor to be once again launching his yet latest book. So thank you, Harry. Thank you, Ravi.
Okay.
Welcome, sir.
So let us begin with our question and answer session. Ravi, first of all, all of our audience and the readers would like to know, what is your book about? You have written, this is your 10th book?
Yeah. This one is a book of fiction, a collection of short stories. There are 21 short stories and 22 travels. It primarily deals with the darker shade of the human mind and human personality. So that is the emphasis. In fact, there is a quote here that life is not black and white. There is some grey nuance to it, remarked the Danish actor Pilau Ashback. He was right. Life is not a straight line. It is replete with peaks and valleys. There is good, the bad, and the ugly. So I have dealt more with the grey aspect of our personalities in this book. And as Pandey sir had just mentioned, I have been inspired by Mahabharata, Panchatantra, Zen stories, and various such epics which have helped me to write this book.
This is beautiful. Have you read Sanjay ji, his book?
Yeah, so I have read 17 stories. I was on my 18th story when you once again we came live, and I have read all his travels. And so I would like to ask you, Ravi, I mean, not most of your stories are dealing with that gray or the dark shade of the human emotions. Yet there are a few stories which also deal with the positives. Something like the second story, which is about that Kargil war hero. So what made you write about the darker emotions of human beings?
Sir, normally through the darker side, one comes to the brighter side, like the dark side of the moon, Pink Floyd's very famous song. So it's through the darkness one can see luminosity. So that is why I have laid emphasis on it. And that is the reality today. It's not that everything is hunky-dory. There's so much of darkness also. But in that darkness, there is so much of brightness. So that is how I have made an attempt to go into thoughts and conceptions which the generation today is facing, like on gay activism or on lesbianism, same sex. These are things which people don't, talk about very easily. But after various efforts by so many people, these are aspects of human life which are part of human life have come to fore. That is the reason that I have written on thrillers, crime, unrequited love. Like there's a story about the unbridled desire of an actress. It's again based on a real life story. Or Legacy is on a politician. These are all real life incidents which are happening around us. So that has been the attempt. Or like Bombay Review, how newspapers or say the media, they are determined to increase their sales. And for that, they are willing to compromise on ethics and on principles. Because we are all taught from our childhood how important ethics and morality is, but how people begin compromising on this aspect of human life.
Absolutely.
So you mentioned Harry, you mentioned a very valid point here. You said that we are taught right from the beginning, right from our childhood, the importance of ethics and everything. But somehow our parents, in trying to protect us from the unsavory, from the darker sides of life, are probably not teaching us how to deal with those. And was this an attempt on your part when writing these stories that the younger generation should be able to learn from these stories? Was that an attempt on your part?
Yes, sir. That is, see, what I have learnt in Art of Living and as a faculty of Art of Living, that opposite values are complementary. Now, the valor of Ram is known through Ravan. If there was no Ravan, no demon, there won't be goodness. The eventual aim is to spread goodness and happiness. But this is an aim, a method which I evolved or attempting to, that through the darker side, go on to the brighter side. And it's only when the sun gets eclipsed that you know the brightness of the sun.
Well said.
That has been the idea.
Also, who could share his views about the book. Mr. Pandey, I'm sure you might have read the book, whatever the conversation I had with you. Could you tell us, like, what is your take on the book?
I have read most of the stories. One or two, I think I could complete. But as I said, it's such a wonderful creation by Ravi, and so real they appear. And I'm sure that most of the things would have surely happened, and that's how these stories have been created. As I had said, that it's very difficult to write short stories because then you have limited number of words and limited number of lines you have to, and then you have to create the plot and then end with a kind of message, and then your style of writing should be there. So, with all the things, I think Ravi scores full marks. Only thing is that his language sometimes becomes very, very difficult. So I have to refer to the dictionary.
Yeah.
So
Even I felt that. Even I thought I'm the only one, despite of being in books all the time. But even I felt that, Ravi.
so,
Okay.
so that again is the quality of a good writer.
Absolutely.
And I must say that there are few stories which have really touched. One is a beautiful story itself. A beautiful story. The title is it's so beautiful indeed, and the maths it's about maths teacher, and then writing is something about the students have to write about the other fellow students. Their all the things which are treasured throughout their life. So then one of the students he dies in Kargil, and things happen. So it is so beautifully written. I must say there are few stories which are there, the suspense kind of murder mysteries or that kind of stories. And there also, I must say, this murder at the Matheran.
Matheran. Matheran.
Matheran.
Murder at Matheran.
Yes. So it is also such a beautifully woven story. It's so wonderfully written. कि उसमें आखिर में जब पता चलता है तो real suspense is there. So all these things. बाकी और the book Thief is there. That's also such a beautiful story. जो महाभारत से लेकर के जो पैरेलल जो ड्रॉ किए हुए हैं वो बहुत अच्छे हैं. कुंती, व्हाइट लाई एंड इंद्रप्रस्थ, द अम्ब्रेला इज आल्सो स्टोरी. जिस तरह से हम लोग एक अम्ब्रेला के रूप में रहते हैं, रहता है, एंड इट कीप्स चेंजिंग एंड सडनली व्हेन द अम्ब्रेला इज नॉट देयर एंड देन यू फील समथिंग डिफरेंट दैट द रियल अचीवमेंट इज देयर. तो ये बहुत अच्छी स्टोरीज हमें पढ़ने को मिली. एक और खास चीज जो है, जो ट्रैवल्स लिखी हुई है 22, वो बहुत अच्छी है और बहुत छोटी छोटी जो रियल हिंदी में लघु कथाएं कहते हैं उस स्टाइल में है, और वेरी स्मॉल पॉइंटिंग स्टोरीज. I would request Ravi that he should continue with this kind of writing in a big way, and this kind of writing in full books, maybe, because I have published such type of stories, one-page stories, 300 in 3 books, 100 stories in each book, one-page stories, and giving kind of message which she has given, or in some way that it becomes और बाकी मुझे इनका क्रिएशन हमेशा से अच्छा लगता रहा है. I wish you all the best. I wish you really all the best, Ravi. You should continue with such wonderful creativity in future as well.
So I also felt
Thank you.
like,
Thank you.
Ravi, writing a drabble is such a daunting task to check the plot, to sketch a plot, and within that 100 words or something, you have to finish a story. Am I right?
That's right. In 100 words. Exactly 100 words.
I think Sanjay Mr. Sanjay has done something like this.
Yeah, so this was a very unique concept. In fact, personally for me, I find it daunting to even write a short story because the long format, the novels give you a broad canvas in which to paint your characters. You can develop a character, you can develop the environment and everything. Whereas even in a short story, you have to limit yourself to a certain words and Drabble is of course something new for it was something new for me. So uh, what gave you the idea of writing the Drabbles?
Sir, there are two things. I was inspired by Jeffrey Archer. He's a master craftsman and he has written a number of drabbles. So
So
I was inspired.
Is that also the reason why there is a twist in your tales?
Always, most of the time.
In all the tales, there is a twist.
Yeah.
In all the tales, there's a twist. Then, inspired by certainly Mr. Jeffrey Archer, the great author.
Yeah.
Then I had participated in a couple of penmancy, that's a portal, drabbles. So that gave me an idea. And one highly inspirational movie, though I haven't read the story, that's in Hindi, Shatranj Ke Khiladi. It's just a 3-page story by Premchand ji, and that went on to become such an acclaimed movie. So, as Shri K.L. Pandey sir, my senior in the service, had said that the art of conveying everything in brevity, that is a big challenge. And whether it's a drabble or a short story, then with a twist, that makes it very interesting. And that really challenges the mind. And until the mind is challenged, one cannot really produce something good. So I enjoyed writing this. In fact, I was in Chennai at that time. I was chief commercial manager, and I came across a number of such plots. And a lot of them are real life incidents. So then I said, why not capture them in just 100 words? But lot of credit then goes to my wife, who had done the first drafting, Ravi Valluri. She had edited it and selected the plots. And from lead start, Shayoni Mitra, who had again chiseled it and gave a modern touch. And I used to be in touch with the main thing was whether the flow is there or not. For any author, that is important. And for any reader also, he shouldn't get bored. And she kept saying that the flow is there. And she had also, a lot of credit goes to her in organizing it. How to, which story should come first, then thereafter. In fact, to design this cover, it took a lot of time because I wanted to, the C-link. Pardon?
Even elaborate the
This,
cover.
Yeah, there were two options. One was Bombay Review, some paper cuttings, and to show these characters. Like here, you have greed, you have jealousy, then you have some goodness, and then some gay activists, all kinds of personalities, crime, romance. And then I had taken this Bombay Sea Link. Bombay is known for this Sea Link, and that is the principal story, Bombay Review, and other stories. So I wanted these characters to be fitted here. So the designer had taken his time, and after going through a number of iterations, we finally came up with this particular cover. I like the cover very much. I think the cover itself conveys quite a bit.
Exactly. Now, taking a cue from what you talked about Shatranj Ke Khiladi and its movie adaptation, uh, many of your stories are also probably could be in line for adaptation to an OTT series. Are you considering or contemplating putting it on the OTT or talking
Yeah,
to people
certainly,
for the
sir.
OTT adaptation?
Oh, geez.
I mean, that will be a great honor if it happens. I'm certainly
Look,
would like it to be on OTT.
Okay.
I
right.
think
What
Harry
do you
has
I,
those contacts, and Harry has those contacts in Mumbai. She can share them.
100% produces, and this, I hope someone is watching, and it makes us reach to the right kind of audience.
Yeah.
and you
So,
also spoke
no,
about your wife. Yeah, please, Harry, over to you. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I did realize that a lot of edit work goes on when your wife comes in picture. So that's a very strong support of you, someone at home who's editing your book. But I also
Yes.
heard that your daughter Tejla and your son Siddhartha, they also play
Yeah.
a very critical role in reading your books and giving you feedback.
Oh, yes. The feedback of the present generation is very important. My son, he's a concept artist. He works with Rockstar. So he gives very valuable inputs. And in fact, he had asked me to foray into fictional writing. Till then, I was writing nonfiction. And my daughter is also very critical in what is written. So one has to view it from their prism because they form such a huge chunk of population in India, and the feedback is very important, and
Very
one has
important.
to
No,
learn from that feedback.
I agree with you, Ravi. I mean, the biggest critiques are are those who are closest to you. In my case, also, my wife Nina is my first critique. She edits my manuscript, and there are so many drafts that my manuscript goes through her editing, and then my daughter Pooja, she does she does the checks out the English and everything, and my other daughter Payal, she also gives me all those inputs of how to improve upon the story. So they are the biggest critiques, and you have rightly said that in your case also your family is the biggest critique. So how many when you write, is
Yes.
it write the first draft itself that is final, or you write multiple drafts when you are writing your stories?
No, in this particular thing, sir, some stories my wife had asked me to make multiple drafts. I had made multiple drafts, and they were crafted well. And then the editor also had made number of suggestions, and all that had helped. That input is very important. I think our aperture of the mind should be open to listen to criticism. That is very important, not only as an author, as a human being, or we have been all civil servants. Luckily, by God's grace, I'm in this present assignment. So, listening to criticism is very important in our evolution as a human being and to deliver the goods. And this talent by which we are blessed, it's not for us, as Gurudev Shri Ravi Shankar says, it's meant for people. So it should go to people, and how we create something which attracts the attention of the reader. That is more important. And I would say that viewers who are watching this or those who will watch should get a copy of the book and give me a feedback. I have received some very good feedback so far. Those who have read the book or are in the process of reading, they have liked the book, including Harry and others. They plus yourself, then Pandey sir, and several officers who are working in service and who are still those who retired. they have appreciated the book, whatever they have read so far. But
So,
certainly, writing short stories is a big challenge.
yeah. So I would like to ask Mr. Pandey, do you also, wherever you write, and Mr. Ravi has spoken so much about you, about your singing and everything, the knowledge that you have, the immense knowledge that you have. So जब आप लिखते हैं तो आप भी किसी को बताते हैं to edit, or who's your torch?
मेरा पहला श्रोता जो होता है वो मेरी पत्नी है।
अच्छा, वो सभी का I'm so glad ये पहली श्रोता जो है वो बीवी है, such a vital role.
चाहे कविताएं लिखूं चाहे मैं कहानियां लिखूं तो पहले मैं उन्हीं को सुनाता हूं, फिर वो जो भी उसमें संशोधन करना होता है तो वो मैं उसको हिसाब से करता हूं। और जितनी भी कहानियां मैंने लिखी हैं, she has इनफैक्ट इन दिस म्यूजिक जो मैंने किया हुआ है इसमें आई विल गिव हर फुल क्रेडिट, क्योंकि वो तो इतना एनग्रॉसिंग काम था और इतना ज्यादा टाइम टेकिंग वर्क था। 16 इयर्स मैं उसमें लगा रहा था। वो 20,000 सॉन्ग्स की राग एनालिसिस हो पाई और उसमें उनका बहुत बड़ा सपोर्ट था। एडिटिंग में बहुत उन्होंने मेरी मदद की और दूसरी सबसे बड़ी मदद तो ये रही कि इट्स ए क्रेज, इट्स ए पैशन, और उसको 16 साल तक टॉलरेट करना, that itself is a creditable thing.
It's commendable.
Yes, and story writing of course बहुत सी ऐसे प्लॉट्स मिलते जाते हैं जो कि आप डेली लाइफ में लगे रहते हैं और उनसे बहुत कुछ आप गेन करते हैं। Many aspects of life they have already touched upon. इतना ज्यादा लिखा जा चुका है, लेकिन there are various aspects which you come across जिसको टच नहीं किया गया, तो वो ऐसा लगता है कि वो जरूर it's our duty to make out, to give a shape in the form of a story. और जब वो क्रिएट हो जाती है तो बहुत अच्छा लगता है, जैसे लगता है something has
achieved,
really born. So that kind of feeling is there. ये बहुत अच्छा जो इन्होंने रवि ने बहुत सी जो चीजें लिखी हैं वो बहुत ही सुंदर हैं और मैं एक बार फिर ये चाहूंगा कि he must create ट्रैवल्स का पूरा एक उसको निकालना चाहिए जिसमें 100 मिनिमम 100 एंड वो बहुत अच्छा लगेगा।
एनी फेवरेट ट्रैवल जो आप पढ़ना चाहेंगे या हमारे ऑडियंस से शेयर करना चाहेंगे?
I think I'll read one. Yes, this shows the human life. It's called Wedding Anniversary. Bharti, how long will we pay for the expenses for your parents? Snapped Subramaniam as Subbanam and Kamakshi overheard the conversation. There is a gaping hole in our finances. We could not travel to Ooty this summer, he grumbled. It was a calculated chat by the couple, feeling the pinch in their finances since the octogenarian couple had moved in their lives. They were infirm and lonely, with no place to stay. After the day's work, the couple returned home and had to break open the door to find Bharti's parents hanging to death. It was her parents' wedding anniversary.
Very touching story. Very touching story.
Yeah, I also was like very touched, after reading this sad thing about life. Mr. Pandey ji,
there's another one I would like to read, if you don't mind. It's called Satyagraha. Champaran is where the Mahatma launched a satyagraha against the policy of the British that compelled farmers to cultivate indigo. In 2023, there was yet another satyagraha by two young women who were excommunicated by the upper caste. Kusum bore two children through prasad, but her heart ached for Lata. Society was left numb when Kusum and Lata were to get married and run away from Champaran, which gladdened the hearts of 25 lakh estimated gay community in India. The repressive Section 377 was abolished, but the communion was not permitted. The twist in the tale, Lata was Prasad's younger sister.
Yeah, even I read this. You know, it's so daunting to write something like this because it's so difficult putting so many characters, making their relation with each other. It's very challenging. I mean, it's commendable, Ravi. Hats off.
Thank you.
संजय जी आप
I
कुछ
just wanted
आपका
to
कोई
mention
फेवरेट
about
ड्रैवल और पांडे जी आपका कोई फेवरेट ड्रैवल जो आपको पसंद आया इनकी किताब से
So I like the
March 2023 बहुत अच्छा लगा रंग बरसे संग by Amitabh Bachchan played as the residents of gated community guided to the number. A famished family consisting of an old man and granddaughter aged 10 watched the proceedings, blaming their stars. They could not party as they missed the train to the road. Suddenly, there was a pandemonium as the 10-year-old girl collapsed on account of dehydration and was wheeled into a hospital by a doctor. Meanwhile, the holy party stopped as another 10-year-old girl fell into a swimming pool. The doctor expected her husband to shoulder some responsibility. Was it not International Women's Day? She So
Amazing.
This is such a beautiful story, a beautiful drama.
Yes, indeed it
Other
is.
one, yes, the another story which the beautiful story that's the maths teacher went in. I mentioned earlier, and wants to write something about the other. So it is basically giving appreciation to mutual appreciation kind of thing, and which is cherished throughout the life. That reminds me a very small incident which is there in the form which I read somewhere. It is about the famous painter Rossetti of Italy, and he was roaming in the street when he saw some painter was there, and he was doing some painting, and then this man goes over there, Rossetti, and he asks him, "What are you doing?" And that he sees him, then he says, "Yes, these are my paintings. Please comment. How are these?" So he says, "Yes, okay, they are there. Good." But then he says, "What is there in your that bag? Please take out those paintings." He takes out those paintings and torn kind of bag, and the old paintings they are there. And then Rossetti says, "Oh my God, such wonderful creation! My God, such a the choice of colors and the idea behind it is so good. Who has done this?" He said, "Sir, this has been done by me 40 years back." Imagine the power of how appreciation. Had he been appreciated 40 years back, he would have created something grand. So such type of thing, this beautiful story which Ravi has written, it is similar to that kind of any type of appreciation. It is always cherished throughout the life. So that story I like very much.
Very nice. संजय जी आपकी कोई फेवरेट ड्रैबल जो आप पढ़ना चाहेंगे? This will bring us to the end of the session.
So Harry, I would not read out the complete story.
Okay.
Or the complete babble, because I do not want to disclose all these stories to the readers. The readers should also read the book.
But see, there are so many people live watching us. है ना? इतने सारे लोग हमें देख रहे हैं. कुछ तो स्टोरियां, कुछ तो उनको मिले.
I would like to talk about the cosmic flute, and the gravel starts with, "Did you ever harbor any desire to marry him?" Rukmini asked Radha. Satyabhama and Rukmini were special among all the queens of Lord Krishna. And Radha replies. And it ends. Now Rukmini understood what made Radha stand apart from others. And I would like the reader, these travels, and not only the travels, but even the stories, to really understand, or to really enjoy what the storytelling that Ravi has woven out of everyday life. To Harry.
So this was my favorite also. This particular story was amazingly, the reply that Radha gives. That this story is my favorite, Ravi.
Thank you.
Yeah. So this was a beautiful session. This brings us to the end. But any one message that Ravi you would like to give to our readers and the audience watching this?
Well, I would like, through your medium and through my seniors, Mr. K.L. Pandey and Mr. Sanjay Chandra, that readers should buy this book, Bombay Review and Other Stories. And I'm sure they'll really enjoy it. And secondly, if through this it can reach the OTT platform, it would be wonderful.
And not only read Ravi, I would also like to add that they should not only read it, but they should also share their reviews, because reviews are very important for the evolution of a writer.
Yes.
Absolutely right. I missed that point. Review is very, very important, whether it is critical or praise or whatever. And only then can one develop.
Exactly.
Yeah. Absolutely. So this brings us to the end of this beautiful evening. I would especially like to thank Mr. Pandey ji, Mr. K.L. Pandey, who's with us, who was with us on video call because he was unable to join us. Thank you so much, Mr. Pandey ji. And of course, I would like to thank Sanjay ji, who took out his time and was a part of this. Our special thanks to Lead Start, the publisher. And I'm sure Ravi ji ne to already thanks keh diya hai, jinhone, whoever has helped you from Lead Start publication.
Yes, starting from Mr. Swaroop Nanda, the CEO, then Hema Murli, Khushi Srivastav, Sejal Tanwar, Shayoni Mitra, the editor, I mean, a whole team. I think if we can just display the copy of the book. I don't know whether Pandey sir can do it.
With me.
Yeah. I know there have been maybe like my story, this book, there were technological glitches, but end में सब ठीक हुआ है. That is more important.
बहुत ही बेहतर हुआ है. आप बताएंगे आपकी किताब where on which platform it is available before we wind up the and so
it is
available on Amazon.
It's on Amazon, Flipkart, a whole variety. I'll email the links to you. You can also forward it, and soon it will be in various bookstores across India. In fact, today, a very auspicious day, Odyssey Chennai, they have placed order. They want copies of the books there.
Oh, lovely.
And I think even Higginbotham's, they're also negotiating. So, I mean, I'm very happy, very glad.
Bangalore one? Which one?
Pardon? Odyssey is the Chennai one. And Higginbotham's, they have branches in Chennai, Bangalore, other places.
Oh, everywhere. It's a beautiful bookstore.
Yeah. Yes, the Bangalore one. Bangalore one is very good.
On Orchard Street. It's a beautiful bookstore. Yeah. So thank you so much for being a part of this. And I will be sharing Ravi's and my other chief guest Instagram handles also along with this. So all the best and abundance of success till we meet again.
Yes, I'm very grateful to you, grateful to Shri K.L. Pandey ji, to Shri Sanjay Chandra ji for blessing the book and to be part of this show, and to my spiritual master, Gurudev Shri Shri Ravi Shankar, and of course my wife who edited it very painstakingly, and Shayoni Mitra and the entire lead staff, and to Harry, despite all the glitches, finally the product has come out well. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
So thank you.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Harry,
everyone.
for such a wonderful session. Thank you, Ravi.
Thank you, Sanjay. Thank you, Pandiji.
Thank you.
And you could also share my website, Harry,
Yes.
www.authorsanjaychandra.com.
Yes, I saw it's so beautifully done.
So thank you.
I
In
Thank you so
fact,
much.
share it.
sir puts such testing questions. I've faced them once.
No, they were so spontaneous, out of whatever you were talking about. So anyway, thank you. Thank you, Ravi.
So
Thank
thank you
you.
so much. Have a great evening.
Right. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Bye.